Humility is very important. The guru of my guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gave a definition of humility. He said that humility is the absence of the enjoying spirit. The enjoying spirit is the spirit with which we live in the world, consciously or unconsciously, whereby we think of ourselves as the center. And that which is out there, if you will, the objects of our senses, which are the vehicles through which we extend ourselves into the world, that those objects of the senses, taste, the smells, the sounds, and so forth, are for our enjoyment. We have a set of senses, we contact sense objects, we get impressions that are relayed, so to speak, to the mind, and the mind makes a determination. I like this, I don't like that, and the personality and identity is formed. But this identity is illusory. It's not an absolute identity. You're good, maybe my bad. You're happy, maybe my sad. What tastes good to you may not taste good to me. So this is not getting at the heart of what's the nature of reality. These are the dualities, if you will, that arise from the mind and the senses. And this identity, where as I say, consciously or unconsciously, am the center, is an I and a mine, right? And nothing is mine. That's a fact. I can't keep anything. Nothing is mine. So the I that arises out of my sense of my is as false as the my is. So there's a false self, if you will, and it's fostered by exploitation. In Hinduism, we call exploitation karma, taking. When you take, you owe. And as they say, off to work you go, right? You have to struggle. When we take from the world, when we exploit from the world, we're not understanding its purpose, because we have a purpose of our own in our head. But it's not one that everybody can conform to, and that the world is entirely comfortable with. Therefore, we feel there's some opposition. Why? Because your idea is not that broad. It's not that accommodating. And so you're not the proprietor, but there is a proprietor. Everything belongs to God. And so the enjoying spirit, when we exploit the world for our limited purposes, this is a pride, if you will. It's not an accurate understanding of who we are, what our position is. So, absence of the enjoying spirit, he defined humility in this way. And if we take the enjoying spirit, the taking, and we decide to stop taking, well, that's good, but it's hard to live a life like that. You could not take from the environment. Stopping from taking. Love is about giving. If we stop taking, that's part of love. But love is the full picture. If we want to stop taking, being in the enjoying role, then the best way to do that is to start loving, which will include not taking, but moreover, giving to who the rightful enjoyer is. In my body, to use an analogy, the stomach is the center. If I give food to the stomach, it alone has the capacity to turn that food into energy that will nourish all parts of the body. If my hand complains, why should I give it to the stomach? Or if my tongue complains, why should I give it to the stomach? Then neither the hand or the tongue will be nourished, right? If we want to nourish a tree, we pour water on the roots. So what's the root of existence? Where does it all come from? It doesn't come from my head. It has a purpose. When I take it for my mentally conceived purpose, then I am not seeing a thing for what it is. I'm not allowing the world to be what it is. I'm working against what it is, if you will. So if I want to give up the enjoying spirit, then I should take the serving spirit, which is the contrast. And service is the basis of love. If you love someone, then you want to serve them. You want to do things for them, right? And this is just the counter opposite, right? Service, being a servant, as opposed to being enjoyer. The latter is like to be the center, the other is to be on the circumference. We're on the circumference, and there is a center, and it's not us. When we identify the center, then we become healthy, happy, and whole. So you've got to look at it in the metaphysical kind of context. Otherwise, the advocacy of humility sounds like something that might foster lack of self-esteem and promote psychological dysfunction and so on and so forth. So, no, we should be proud to be a servant of the Godhead. Proud to be giving. And bhakti, of course, is all about that. Bhakti is the yoga of love. It doesn't stop with not taking, which would be knowledge. It's knowledge to say that in the pursuit of enduring happiness, I shouldn't pursue things that don't endure. That's knowledge. But love includes that knowledge, and it's something more as well. When I take from the world, if you will, when I exploit the world, when I see myself as a center, I'm living a life that's a recipe for my own misery, on one level or another. But when I connect myself appropriately with the source, then what's the problem? I'll give a verse from the Bhagavad Gita to conclude this answer to the question. At the end of the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhoktaram jagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. He says, I am the enjoyer. I am the stomach here. I'm the root of the tree. It just happens to be a center. It just doesn't happen to be me. It just that's obvious as an individual. It should be obvious to anyone. But that there is a center. What's the nature of the center? That's another thing. That's another interesting theological discussion and so forth. But Krishna declares himself to be the center. Okay, that's a big topic. Save that for another day. But as the center, what is the nature of the center? Krishna says, you have the enjoyer of everything. Sacrifice should be done for me. So if I hear this, I say, this statement, at first it sounds a little bit draconian. Someone else is the rightful enjoyer and for whom all sacrifice should be performed and so forth. Nothing for me. Bhoktaram jagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. But then he says, if you understand this, suhridam sarvabhutanam napamam shantim rachati. If you understand this, then you become my friend. Now we are on friendly terms with the center. So suddenly, from trying to be the enjoyer and to be the center, without even realizing maybe that's what you're doing, when you look at it practically, that's what you're doing. What a ridiculous prospect. And it's causing me so many problems. It doesn't seem like the world wants to cooperate with me. Hmm. Uh, well, maybe you're not the center. Hmm. Okay, so you give everything to the center. Hmm. What is your loss? Now you become the friend of the one who owns everything, knows everything. What's left to be known or owned by you? You want to own, you want to know. Hmm? Love the person who knows and owns everything. Hmm? Then you become his lover, his friend. And what will be lacking for you? It's not what you know, it's who you know. So if you know if you're on friendly terms with the center, who knows and owns everything, then you can accomplish your desires to own and know, if you will. You can be successful.